Hey folks, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. I haven't done this in a long time. Hey William, how are you? Happy Friday, man. Yeah, haven't done this in a while. Just sort of gone live off the cuff. No agenda, nothing. Just felt like doing a live thing. Haven't haven't done any content in a while, and I was planning on doing something tomorrow, but I may still do something tomorrow. It depends. I got stuff going on, but I might do my another monthly hangout, but I just feel like doing something off the cuff. So that's why I call it Friday pop-up. We got William in here. We got Tyler Patterson. How you gentlemen doing? Now I don't know if you'll notice the irony, me wearing a Gibson shirt and playing a Fender guitar. And speaking of Fender, if you're a guitar person and you've been reading and watching all the videos and hear the latest news about Fender going after people that are using the Strat shape to make guitars, there's a big conundrum going on. There's a bunch of videos, high profile YouTubers, everybody's making a video about it. Hey Half Face, how are you, man? Long time no see. Everybody's talking about it, not them going after people making S-style guitars. I saw Alter Bridge on Tuesday. They were really good, also pretty heavy live. Yeah, well, they're a pretty heavy band, so that's cool, man. That's cool. Doing great, other than annoyed the guitar I bought from Joe Wentz is running late. Oh, you bought a guitar. Cool. Like half of the guitars are Strat style. West Coast Dave, welcome. Yeah, everybody and their nephew's making one, right? And for them to go after that at this late a date is kind of ridiculous, Like I said to somebody that was talking about it, I said they took a page out of the Gibson asshole manual, and they're doing the same thing. If you remember, Gibson a while back got a lot of grief for Play Authentic. Well, Fender's kind of doing the same thing now. But, it's funny, with if I talk about like my personal experience, hey Allman, how are you? If I talk about my personal experience with Strats, and I've owned a few, man. I've probably owned like 5 or 6 at this point, and my experience with them has always sort of been the same. I own one really, really good Strat. Okay, well I should say one really good Fender Strat in my life, and it's one of those guitars that you sold and then you kind of kick yourself for selling it. And the reason I sold it was 3 single coils, and I need something with a humbucker in the bridge, so that's why eventually I got rid of it. But it was the one good one that I had, and it was great guitar, and it was back when Fender was when they had the American Standard, right, which was back when they were still U.S. made guitars, and that was sort of like their like the Gibson Les Paul Standard, like that, their American made standard issue, nothing custom shop, just Fender guitar, and it was really good. And but then every other Fender that I've played since that to replace that Strat have all been kind of not quite as good. June 18th, Rush, awesome. I have another concert next Saturday. I'm seeing Triumph outside of Detroit. Show sold out, close to selling out of. Yeah, Triumph Tour is doing really, really well. Yeah, West Coast Dave, why did it take so long to do this? Why now? I think because they're losing money. It's probably what it is. They're probably losing money. Fender bought back the Leo Fender name. That's prompting the shenanigans. Yeah, I don't know the finer points of it, but again, like just my experience. So Yeah, so I owned a really good Strat one time, and then I went to try to get another Fender Strat, and that took me to the. I had a Fender Player, original Fender Player, which was the Player One, which was the Mexican Fender. And I had one of those, and it was terrible, terrible guitar. Got rid of that, and then I tried again with Fender, and it's like, okay, it looks like I gotta go full bore. So I got at the time, which was the Fender Player 2, had that for a bit, and then that was, you know, again, you buy it, you have it for a while, and it's like that wasn't cutting it. And then the Fender Player 2s came out, and I had one of those, and that actually I thought, hey Quentin, I thought that one of the Strats that I had at that point was the best one. But then I came across the Strat that I own now, which I don't know if I have it here. Probably, I think it's upstairs in a gig bag. But then I found the Nick Johnston Schecter Strat, which is the best Strat since the one that I had originally back in the early 2000s. So my best Strat is a Schecter. Okay, and it's kind of funny because that Schecter Strat, which is an Indonesian-made guitar, came with stainless steel frets, came with the roasted neck, came with an ebony fretboard, came with locking tuners, all things that you would never find unless you went into like the higher priced American made Fenders. So that's kind of my experience with them, right? And then other Fenders that I've owned. This one is really good. I really like this. This is a Pro One. Had this for a long time. Done a lot of shows with it. It's a great guitar. I tried the Ultra Meteora, which was like top of the line Fender. That lasted about a minute because it had a high fret, and that's a real expensive guitar to have a high fret on. So that went back. It's like, I don't know. They're not making great stuff. I mean, I could say the same thing about Gibson. I now own a custom 70s guitar, but that took three. I went through three of them before I got one that didn't have a scratch on it. So I mean, Gibson is just as guilty. But yeah, these companies are asking for top dollar, and there's other companies that are doing the same guitars better, right? Because everything I hear about the PRS Silver Sky is it's the best Strat out there. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. But let me get caught up on the comments here. Yeah, the Rush set list I am very curious about. There is a great interview which has been out now for a couple of days. Rick Beato interviewed Geddy Lee, and it's like when I saw that, it's like finally, finally he's interviewing Geddy Lee, and it's a really, really good interview. It's actually one of the best interviews I've seen with Geddy in a long, long time, and they go into the whole set list thing and how they're going to decide and so on and so forth. And I think they mentioned something about they're at something like just under 40 songs, and they're still because I think they want to rotate songs from gig to gig. So there's probably a bunch in there that are sort of core, and then the other ones might cycle in and out. But yeah, I mean, I unfortunately am not going to see the Rush, and I've already talked a million times about this, so I don't want to repeat myself. But I'm real curious. I'm sure there's going to be lots of videos online, because I'm hoping somebody will do like a really good sound wise and visually, so I can kind of see what I missed, so to speak, with Rush, with the new lineup, and see how they're going to sound now. Everybody's going on about Annika playing what she's going to do drum wise with the band, but I'm also curious to what the his name escapes me now, but the keyboard player, what his contributions are going to be, you know, because I know he's doing a lot of backup vocals as well as playing some keyboard parts. So I'm just curious to see what the band will sound like. I mean, essentially, you know, it'll still sound like Rush, but it's not going to be. And I'm not saying this as a negative. It's just, you know, you got a different drummer, you know, you got some different players. It's going to be slightly different, or it's got to be somewhat different, anyways, from what we're used to hearing as Rush. So I'm really curious to see what that's going to sound like. Spaghetti's been saying they're going to change it up. Okay, so I just mentioned it, West Coast. Yeah, Dave, yeah. 40 songs, so 2 mostly different sets except the ones they have to play. Yeah, so you know that he did mention that there's songs that have to be in there. You know, Tom Sawyer would be one. You know, Closer to the Heart, I imagine, would be another one. Working Man, they always close the show with Working Man. What else would be a staple in their set list? I don't know. From there on, man, it's go. I'm sure they're going to do some stuff off the Clockwork Angels. You know, the most recent one, because that's, you know, one they haven't beat to death. So, you know, in terms of playing those songs live, I saw a couple of new metal bands Tuesday. My 30-year-old boss. I think you meant drag me, not drug me. For his birthday party. Born of Osiris and All That Remains. I did get my picks. Cool. Yeah, I don't know either one of those bands. Our Schecters are going to be illegal soon. Yeah, Quentin, yeah. Yeah. If you see a couple of black vans parked outside your house and with earpieces, go hide under the bed. Minor Volas and an Aerodyne Strat. Yeah, no fenders. Yeah. Okay, you guys are still talking about the bands. Russell Marquardt, how are you, man? Okay, West Coast Dave. I have a Strat Ultra. It's in my lap. It plays beautifully, but it's had problems. Yeah, you know, the Ultra being like their top of the line guitar. You know, I mean, outside of you know, I'm not getting into custom shop, but you figure, you know, any company, and I'm not just gonna, you know, beat up on Fender, you know, because I've had my bad experiences with Gibson as well, but just the idea that you're gonna have an American-made guitar that you're gonna pay top dollar for, that guitar should be absolutely flawless, right? It should be flawless. There should be no problems. Getty talks about how Rush used to write in the old days. Yeah, he went. That was cool. He went through all the different iterations of how they used to put songs together. Yeah, that was cool. I really enjoyed that interview. If you haven't seen it, and on that interview, he mentions that he also is going to do one with Alex. So I'm curious to hear that one as well when that comes out. I don't see any clips online of Mike Levine on stage on tour. Hope he can play. If not, for Tyler, yeah, I've seen no signs of Mike Levine, and there is a ton of clips of Triumph from multiple shows at this point, and I got a feeling, you know, that's maybe not going to happen. Maybe if they, you know, they come back and you know, play Toronto, maybe. I've been doing with Styx for some years, come out each night and play about 2 songs. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen with Mike, Tyler, I don't know. Hey, Ken, how are you, man? Yeah. Good evening to you as well. Yeah, thanks, guys, for popping in. Again, I just... Nelson, how's it going? Good evening. Yes, good evening to you, too. Yeah. I haven't done any... And my channel is slowly going down the tube, so I figured I better do some put some content up. I've been extremely real busy lately. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm on summer holiday, but my summer holidays have been busier than when I was working because I've got all this stuff going on. If anyone in here is taking care of an elderly parent, you know how much of a handful that can be, and that's been taking up a lot of my time. So, yeah, I'm hoping that I can put out some content. I got some ideas for um, some series videos that I used to do to maybe resurrect, maybe recommend an album to review. I may start doing those again whenever my schedule opens up, and I got some ideas for some other regular content just to kind of spruce up the channel and keep it going. I still am doing the shows with Martin, and I've got Martin and Grant, and I'll give you guys the preview. We're going to be talking about the tubes, and I believe that is next week, next Thursday. Next Thursday, we're going to be doing a show on the tubes. If you're not familiar with the tubes, you should. You should be. They're more than, She's a Beauty and Talk to You Later. There's some good music in that back catalog, and the doing the show on the tubes was not my idea. Those guys recommended it, and so I'm not gonna say I got a long history with the tubes, but I have been listening to a lot of tubes in the last month and a half, and so my perspective as far as the show is going to be sort of fresh ears. So there's no bias, in albums that because usually what happens is when you're talking about bands, you usually gravitate to the first records that you've got, and those are sort of, near and dear, and then the rest of it kind of falls a little more to the wayside. But as far as the tubes goes, it's all relatively new to me. So, but yeah, we're going to be ranking, and we're not doing albums, we're doing our top 10, our favorite tube songs. So I'm trying to whittle that down right now. I'm going through the entire catalog again. And just kind of whittling that down. Hey, Janice, how are you? So hope everybody's doing well. Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, I haven't done a live thing on StreamYard in a while. Let me know if the guitar sounds good. Because if the guitar sounds good, I might just do my live streams back on StreamYard again, because I've been using something else to do live streams, and it's a little more of a pain. But if everything sounds good on StreamYard now, I may just stick with that. Heck, I'm doing that on Bebop Deluxe, show in the warehouse, all new to me. Oh man, Bebop Deluxe, love Bebop Deluxe. I was supposed to do a ranking show of Bebop Deluxe. They've only got, 5 albums? Yeah, I was supposed to do. Yeah, man, I love Bebop Deluxe. That's a band that that I got into there for a while, and yeah. Let me know if Grant wants someone else to get in there. I'll do Bebop Deluxe. Guitar sounds good. Thank you, Tyler. A little bit out of tune, but anyway. But yeah, Bebop Deluxe is cool. I've been listening to, like I said, I'm listening to a lot of tube stuff lately. I'm probably gonna do a solo ranking of I'm gonna do probably a top 10 Megadeth. That's something I've been going through for a while. Oh, thanks, West Coast Dave. I've been going through again with Megadeth. It's funny, man. Like I was never, when Megadeth was sort of in their heyday, I guess back in the 80s, I was never a big Megadeth guy. And I listened to their most recent record, and it absolutely floored me. I was like, holy shit, what have I been missing? So I was only familiar with, a couple of Megadeth records, and I kind of went back and I started listening to their whole catalog again. And I mean, they're not all winners, but there are some really, really good records in there, and I've got a whole new appreciation for Dave Mustaine. And man, I'm gonna and I've been wanting to do a Megadeth ranking for the longest time, but I can't find anybody to do it with. So I'm just gonna do a solo Megadeth ranking probably here in the next, maybe in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, so keep an eye out on that. Love Bebop Deluxe. I've been beating my chest for years to have Grant do a show on them. I'm surprised he hasn't done a show on Bebop Deluxe. I was supposed to do a ranking with them on them shit like over a year ago, but that never came to fruition. So yeah, they've got some really really good stuff. I mean, the first record is awesome. I'm so bad with names, but I know the first record I really liked, and then there was if somebody types in the names of the records, I'll tell you. There's another one with a woman on it. Um, that's really good. And then people don't like the most recent record or the most recent record, the latest record. These are all old albums, but the last record when they started going into a little more like electronic new wave, there's some stuff in there too that I really really like. Yeah, there's some really good stuff in there. I told you about two new Rolling Stone songs that came out here. No, I haven't yet, Tyler. I think what I want to do with that is I want to listen to the record. Bill Nelson, yeah, that's, and then he did another project right after that, Bebop Deluxe. He kept going. Yeah, I watched some interviews with him. Yeah, he's a really talented. He's an amazing freaking guitar player. Like his guitar playing is like off the charts, man. And especially on that first record, like he's really going at it hard. And man, he's playing some really, really good shit. So, you know, and I don't, again, I'm terrible with names. I don't know what the name of the first record. It's something guitar something, but that first record is really, really Axe Victim. That's it. Futurama, Sunburst Finish. That's the one I was thinking of. Sunburst Finish is really, really good. Yeah, Sunburst Finish. I really like Axe Victim. To me, man, I hear a lot of Bowie on that. Um, yeah, Futurama. Yeah, there's some really good stuff there. There's some really good stuff there. Yeah, Red Noise. Yeah, I was gonna get into some of that too, but I didn't get that far. But yeah, I don't know the Red Noise stuff. I don't know if he went more electronica with that. I think that's where he was kind of headed. Based on the last bebop record. I think he was headed more in that sort of synth area, but yeah, really good. Jimmy Biter, how are you, man? Yeah, yeah, Bill Nelson, man. That's a guy like if you're a guitar, you're a fan of guitar players, man. Listen to that first Axe Victim record. Listen to that record from Bebop Deluxe. Really, really good. Really, really good. Good songs. Pretty good singer too. You know, and the band he had behind him, man, like just really good players, top-notch players, good arrangements, interesting songs. I'd say probably Axe Victim is probably the most, as far as like arrangements, probably the most, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say basic, but like more conventional. But then some of the arrangements from like in his other record, on his other albums, like some of the stuff on Sunburst Finish, like there's just a lot of different moving parts in some of those songs, and it's really good stuff. It's really good stuff. So there's a band to check out if you haven't. Bebop Deluxe and the Tubes. Go check out some Tubes. Live in the Air Age was one of the greatest live albums of the '70s. Yeah, there's I watched a video. There's not a lot of live stuff of Bebop Deluxe, but there is a video, and it's they're playing some of that later electronica stuff, but it's Bebop Deluxe, and that video is pretty cool. And I don't know if it's the same. I didn't listen to the live record. I don't know if it's basically the video that goes with that live record. I'm not sure if it's just and it's how many songs? It's like at the top. I mean, it's a long time ago. I'm thinking, like it might have been like 8 or 10 songs or something. It's not like a big long concert, but it's really cool. Just look up Bebop Deluxe live. It's really cool. It's just nice to see the guy doing this stuff live. So far, Bebop sounds kind of like Bowie on steroids to me. Just the first record, I get the Bowie vibe from, and then it just kind of veers off. it's like, oh man, it's so many different styles. There's some avant-garde stuff in there, but it's and there's just some interesting choices that he makes in his songs, right? But it's not to the point where it's totally out in left field. It's not like because I can't get into Frank Zappa. Okay, like uh, I can't do it. I mean, Zoot Dolores, I think, is the only record that somebody said to me, if you can't get into Frank Zappa, you can get into that. That record, I don't mind, but it's not as avant-garde as Zappa. It's more, it's less so, but still, it's pretty interesting. Like it takes you on a nice journey. Some of those songs. Yeah. Hey Eric, how are you, man? Lots of folks joining in, man. 13 in here. Cool. Yeah, I don't even feel like playing today, to be honest with you. I had a rehearsal last night, learning some new songs. Got a picked up another gig. Next month's going to be crazy. I'm playing every weekend next month, so I'm looking forward to that. Zappa, I like the Grand Wazoo. Guitar solo adventures in Yorkshire landscape is the most awesome solo I've ever heard for me. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The vocabulary he has, he's not, he's how would I put it? It's his playing is it just flows and it's so musical. It's almost lyrical. His guitar playing. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's just it's not something like you've heard a million times before. It's not conventional in the sense that it's there's. I mean, other than Axe Heaven is sort of, I guess, if you want to say conventional on that, his playing on that would probably be the more conventional, but his other stuff is just it's not, there's a little bit of blues in there, but it's more like it's just more melodic playing. His phrasing, his execution, the guy's just crystal clean. Yeah, he's just a great player. Are you playing in multiple bands? I predominantly I'm in one. Right now I got one band that I gig with, that I'm only doing gigs with one band. There's another band that I jam with, and there's a possibility of me. Well, I got audition, but we'll see. There might be a third. The jam band is just every couple of weeks, just for shits and giggles, but we'll see. But I'm trying to kind of line my stuff up because God willing, I'll be retired in December of this year, so I want to go head first into playing a lot more music, while I still can, and play in a lot of different bands, and just try to get better at this thing. This is always a constant. This journey never ends. Yeah, yeah. Check it out, West Coast Dave, man. Check it out. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, I'm thrilled about it. And because it's the whole band thing is such a it's such a what's the word I'm looking for? It's so hard, right? And I've talked the shows before and talked about the whole gigging and the band thing, whatever. Like just getting a band of people that are reliable, show up for rehearsals, learn their songs, all that kind of stuff. That's a huge thing. And then to build up a repertoire where you can play gigs, right? You have enough songs, and then you got to get the gigs, right? And then to keep that going, it's yeah, it's not easy, man. It's like, in a way, it's almost like winning a musical lottery, right? Because honestly, like I love playing the guitar, on its own, and I like jamming and stuff like that. But for me, the whole thing, it's all about playing, playing live, and it's got nothing to do with you know how good you are or whatever. It's just you just have to find the right people, and and get the gigs, and then do well so that they call you back. I mean, there's places that we play like 4 or 5 times a year, the same place, spread out throughout the year, because they know us, and we do well for them, and we keep going back. So it's a blessing. It's not something that I take lightly, and I've been put a lot of work into it, but it's the gigs are proof that there's something coming out of it. It's not just an exercise. So check that tune out. It even made Pete's top 10 solos, and I agree. Yeah, yeah, man. If yeah, Bebop Deluxe. Start off with the first record and just do them kind of in order. There's only 5 albums, right? Start off with the first one and just go from there. But yeah, whenever you guys go see Rush, man, record a couple of songs. Don't record the whole show. You want to enjoy the show, but put some stuff up on video. I'd love to check out. I'm real curious again to see what they sound like. When Grant gets to 77, I'm definitely requesting that track. Oh yeah, he's doing the yearly thing. Yeah. Yeah, folks. So yeah, tell your friends. I've been like skirting around 5,500 subscribers. I'll go up 3 and then down 2 and then up 1 and then down 4. So tell your friends to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 5,500. That'd be a nice number, but I got to start doing some more content. So that's my own fault. But like I said, I've been very, very busy. Didn't know you played a Telly. I assume you were mainly a Les Paul. Yeah, well, Les Pauls for me are like, um, they're like home base, right? I own, and I'm not proud of this, but I own 7 of them, and I like playing other guitars just to get other flavors, like a Telly, and like I said earlier, Strat. I've got the Music Man over here. I like playing with those other guitars just for something different. But whenever I'll go to rehearsal or I'll go play a show. As soon as I put that Les Paul on, it's like okay, it's like a your comfortable pair of jeans, right? It's like, oh, this is home now. This is what I was meant to play, right? And it does everything you want it to do. At least for me, I know I know what it's gonna sound like. There's no surprises. I know how to get this Les Paul to do the Les Paul things that the Les Paul does, right? But it's sort of home base. But um, I'm actually I'm playing a gig in June. Um, I forget which. I think it's like the first weekend or second weekend in June. For that one. I'm taking out the Firebird. That's also a fantastic guitar. I took that to rehearsal this week, and I'm gonna be playing using that for the first of my run of shows in June. Yeah, damn. Damn is right, Eric. Yeah. Yeah, Russell, it's yeah, like people, it's sort of like, that whole thing, right? It's like you're either a Fender guy or a Gibson guy, and if you're a Gibson guy, usually it's a Les Paul, and if you're a Fender guy, it's usually a Strat. For me, my favorite Fender is a Telecaster. Like after Les Pauls, this is like my number 2. If I could only have 2 guitars, it would be a Les Paul, and it would be this. Because I don't know, I just there's something about Tellys. They just and you can play rock on a Telly, even though this has got a single coil. But I've done Blink 182, Green Day, all these heavy rock stuff. 70s rock. Cheap Trick. I can play all that with this. It's just got a really nice tone to it. Really like it. Yeah, I got the volume off. I just turned the volume off. I don't feel like I know my fingers aren't working for me today. Les Paul Gold Top is Butter P90s with a Marshall. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, I've had a Gold Top. I've had P90s. I had a Gold Top Deluxe, which was the mini humbuckers. I've had all of those. I've gone through so many instruments. I did a thing a while back. I kind of like tried to document every instrument that I've had, and I'm had had what I mean, which I mean, bought, owned, and sold, and including what I have currently, and I'm dangerously close to 50 guitars. And the majority of that, like 95% of that, is within the last maybe 12 years. That's when I got back into playing music. I played music a lot in my 20s. I was gigging regularly in my 20s. Then I stopped for about 12 years. Kids, went back to school, all that kind of stuff, life, and then went back to it about 12 years ago. So, yeah. I got a mix of Fender and Gibson, but I've never owned a Tele. I'm very Tele curious. Yeah, West Coast Dave, I was a late comer to the Telecaster. In my 20s, I never owned one. I think I probably bought my first Telecaster, uh, excuse me, in my late 40s. And this is the second Telecaster I've owned. And I had one, I sold one, and then I bought this one, and this one is better than the first one I had. So, because there's a lot of, when you go through so many guitars, there's a lot of sell and then rebuy. But this was definitely the better of the two. But yeah, there's something about a Telecaster. It's just a special guitar, you know, like Gary Hoey and Telly said Telly like it is. Yeah, you can't hide behind a Telecaster. There's nowhere to hide. All right, take care, Janice. Thanks for popping in. My favorite Telly players. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I mean, Les Paul, what originally drew me to Les Paul were all my favorite guitar players were Les Paul players. Guys like Jimmy Page, primarily Jimmy Page. And, I grew up a big Ace Frehley fan, and they were all Les Paul players. So that immediately drew me to a Les Paul. Um, Strats. I when I did play a lot in the 90s, my main guitar, believe it or not, actually was a Stratocaster. And I was going back then. It was like I was getting into Hendrix, and but Stevie Ray Vaughan was like he was the guy, for me at the time. Not that I could ever play in that style. I tried and I just can't do it. Um, but as far as Tele goes, there's like I don't there's not, and that's probably why I was late coming to a Tele because there's no player that that really made the Tele attractive to me. You know what I mean? It's not like identifying with one of my favorite guitar players. You know, um, I have an SG because I love Tony Iommi and Angus, of course, right? But there's really, for me anyway, I'm not saying there aren't any great guitar players that play Tellys. There's a ton of them, but they're not like my main guys. So there was nothing really to draw me to a Telecaster other than just the guitar itself. But and I mean, it's got the Keith Richards vibe, I guess, right? And we do play some Rolling Stones, kind of cheat it, but yeah. Oh, see, my fingers are not working today, guys. I'm not even gonna try play. That was supposed to be start me up. Um, in my youth, I was a mod Strat with humbucker like everyone else. Then I went Gibson. Now it's a mix. Yeah, favorites: Albert Lee, Warner, Hodges, Jason and the Scorchers. Albert Lee is yeah, yeah. Albert Lee was a beast. Did I see SRV? No, my actually would the back in the day, um and it's on YouTube now, and I bought the DVD back in the day. There's a DVD of Stevie Ray live at the El Macambo, which funny enough is here in Toronto, and watching that is like, to this day when I watch him play on that, and it's like he's on a pretty small stage, just the three guys, and he is just absolutely on fire. It's one of the best examples of a guitar player, like where you know the guitar and him are like one, and he's totally in his element. It's amazing, really, really cool. Yeah, Al Macombo, that's a shit. Yeah, totally West Coast Dave. Albert Collins, Brad Paisley, many others. Oh yeah, there's a million guys that are great. Yeah, the first Zeppelin album. Yeah, I hear you, West Coast Dave, but when you see, I mean, and there is an old video of them playing, uh, early Zeppelin with got the kids sitting down someplace in Europe. Anyway, and yeah, he's playing a telly, but 99% of the time, it's my connection is I'm seeing Jimmy with his Les Paul. Oh, Lenny's amazing. That's a beautiful song. Yeah, you saw SRV three times, once with Jeff Beck. Oh, that wow, that's awesome, Ken. Holy shit, that would have filled up your guitar basket for eons, man. Who else could you see that would top that? Like honestly, you got the two masters there. Back in like every other guitar player you would see after that would be like, eh. You're looking at the two gods. You're like, eh. Yeah, that would definitely sour any other guitar players you go to check out, right? Yeah, phenomenal. Both phenomenal players, and both gone, right? Sad. You have one telly. Yeah, the tellies, and again, I'm not a fan of the thin lines at all. Don't like any of that stuff. For me, a telly is a solid piece of wood, and this has got the classic look. The butterscotch blackguard, right? So Uli John Roth kicks ass live. Well, Uli's got his own Sky guitar. That thing is a freaking. I mean, he's got like 25 octaves on that thing. I mean, yeah, he's a scary player, man. That's one of the guys that's he's just like on another plane, right? There's certain guys that are like on another plane. I would put him in that category. Um, you know, Guthrie. Somebody just mentioned Guthrie, I think, in here. Yeah, he'd be on that category. Like, just these guys are just like playing well above most people's pay grade, so to speak, right? Yeah, I saw Guthrie with the Aristocrats, and man, he was playing his signature Charvel. I think it's a Charvel, and I actually picked up one of his signature Charvels, and it was crazy money. Beautiful instrument, though. Yeah, yeah, I saw him with the Aristocrats. What, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Absolutely phenomenal player. The guy's not human, you know. Cleveland Public Hall, Beck came out with Stevie to the. Oh, that's awesome. That'd be killer. That'd be a killer show, Ken. Awesome. Yeah, Guthrie's just scary. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, all that stuff that he does, I mean, he's playing it, live. And, he had a little, a flat response monitor right beside him because he was just playing, because he dials up a lot of different sounds, and he was using one of these processors. I don't know which one it was. I don't know if it was the Axe effects or I don't know, one of these Helix something, and dialing up all these sounds, and he had his sort of guitar monitor right beside him, and yeah, he's just phenomenal. Yeah, Govin is a beast. Yeah, yeah, Erotic Cakes, man, that's a great record. That is a really good record. I actually prefer that one. I had over the aristocrat stuff that he does. Oh, Marco Minimum. Yeah, yeah, phenomenal drummer. Phenomenal. Yeah, these guys are like next level musicians, man. Next level. Yeah, these guys are all amazing. It's good I don't have a gig today, man. The fingers aren't working. Yeah. All right, we're down to 9 folks. So I'll hang out here a little bit longer. Again, this was just a out of the blue thing. Just wanted to pop in and say hello. I may be doing a full blown hangout tomorrow, so keep an eye out. If I do, it'll probably be at 9. Reason I can't totally say that I can do it is I got a lot of shit going on tomorrow. But if I'm free at 9 in the evening, I may very well do this tomorrow and have something a little more prepared and go from there. Hey, Lori, how are you? Happy Memorial Day. That's right. It's a long weekend for you folks in the States. It's funny. You get your long weekend this weekend. In Canada, we had our long weekend last weekend. Last weekend was, well, depending on who you ask, May 2 4, which is a beer reference, and it doesn't usually land on the 2 4, but it was like Queen Victoria Day or something, Victoria Day. You know, some royal person had a holiday, so we had a we had a day off. Yeah, that was last week. Yeah, because I actually the weekend that I got married was Memorial Day weekend back in this is really gonna date me. Memorial Day back in 1990. Yeah, Victoria weekend. Yeah, yeah. Any 3 day weekends is a good thing. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be the start of our summer, but I have gotten a little bit of color. You can see I already got a t-shirt tan going. We got a couple of nice days, but eh, I mean, tomorrow it's going to be cold and rainy and windy. The whole weekend is going to be shit, and then next week it's supposed to warm up again. But I've been taking advantage of the nicer weather and trying to get some yard work done. And I finally got my gazebo up. Did that, so now I can sit outside. And now I'm just waiting for the warm weather. Kiss leads rules. Hey Edwin, what do you mean Kiss leads rules? I don't get that. Merrill, welcome. Hello. The farmer's tan. Yeah, it's all over. Yeah. I'm all farmer's tan. Yeah. The fingers are coming back slowly. Yeah. So let me know if anybody's got any more questions or comments. And I don't want to go too long tonight. Do my live show at midnight on Fridays. Try to stay awake. There you go. Go check out Lori's show. Yeah, Lori, send me some subs. I'm like 10 or 11 away from 5,500. So, but that's my own fault. I haven't been doing enough regular content. Speaking of which, again, next Thursday, I will be doing a show with Grant and Martin, and we're going to be doing talking about our top 10 Tubes songs. So check that out next week. I appreciate that, Lori. Yeah, appreciate that. Lots of music talk, lots of gear talk. Yeah. Yeah, I found this group of folks that are all kind of retired folks. Not that I'm retired yet, but I'm getting there. And they get together every second Wednesday and jam. And it's kind of cool. You got I'm like the third guitar player. They and the reason I got in is they put an ad and they wanted somebody to come in and play solos. So I went in and I'm like, okay, how does this work? So there's a drummer, keyboards, everything, and then there's like three vocalists. And what they do is they just pull a song off a server. Everybody's got a tablet in front of them. It's kind of this weird setup, and we're in the studio, and they pull up a song, and it could be a song that I've never heard before, and or maybe heard once or whatever, and then they'll play the song, and all I'll have is like the chord charts. So you play along, and then there's always a little part where you got to play a lead, right? So whenever that part comes, they kind of all look at me, and I got to come up with something off the top of my head. So I've done it a couple of times, and I guess they like what I've been coming up with because they keep asking me back. So, but it's a challenge, man, because it's stuff I haven't heard before. I got to figure out based on the chords. There's a little bit of theory involved actually, because I got to go, okay, what key am I in here? And and kind of suss that out from the chords so that when it does get to my part that I'm playing stuff that's in keys. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Hey, Charles, how you doing? Charles got a big show tonight too, folks. It's his hundredth show. So go check out Charles. Check out Mitch and Charles' show later on. Check out Lori's show at midnight. Lots of stuff going on Friday, so I should really get out of here. Get out of my slot. You're taking up my slot. That's an old joke. The Nooch told me. Rock and roll never dies. Oh, how's it? That's the only riff I know of Nuge. So I have shit to download still. All right, good luck, Lori. Take care. Have a good show tonight. All right, folks. I think I'm gonna pack it in here. Thanks for popping in. This was quick. Just a little quick hello. Again, I might be doing this tomorrow night, a little more and a little more prepared capacity. But for those that popped in real quick tonight, I want to thank you again. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit that like. Trying to get over 5,500 or get to 5,500. I've been toying around with that number for the last, I don't know, almost a month. So yeah, that would all help. So that'd be really, really cool. All right, folks. I'm gonna let you go. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. If I don't see you, take care, everybody, and thanks for joining me. Take care. Cheers.